has been made. Pune accident case, a plea to try juvenile assault has been rejected. In fact, the drunk two people will receive lenient punishment. The father of the killed techie has said that the system has betrayed us. It's a big relief for Kerala nurse Nimisha Priya. Kerala nurse's execution has been postponed now. It was slated for tomorrow. Well, in a tragic incident, a 20-year-old student of Fakir Mohan Autonomous College in Balasore, Odisha has died after setting herself on fire. Step if her sexual harassment complaint was ignored. In fact, she also accused the HOD, assistant abuse, and the college principal of inaction. Her letter that was submitted days before the incident went unanswered. On the 12th of July, she doused herself in petrol near the principal's office and set herself on fire. Now, she succumbed to her injuries on the 14th of July with 95% burns. The HOD and the principal have been arrested. A special investigation team has also been formed. In fact, the Education Ministry has also constituted a fact-finding committee, but the outrage is national. Students, activists and opposition leaders are calling this institutional murder. And the big painful question that we all need to answer: how many times must a girl be forced to die just to be heard? And the most important question again, why do our colleges fail the very students that they are meant to protect? That's what we discuss in the course of the next 20 minutes. We have with us Nikhil Abbas, who is a spokesperson of the Congress party. We have Amar Patnaik, who's a former MP, RS of the BJD, and we'll also be joined by Shazia Almi of the BJP. We also have Professor Geeta Bhatt, who's a director at DU. Thank you all of you for joining me on this broadcast. Mr. Patnaik, to you first, sir. What more do you think that the state government could have done? Because this clearly shows a lot of loopholes. This was a student who was protesting hard from the 4th of July. Clearly, all her pleas went completely unanswered. Where do you think the problems began? What do you think the government, the state government, and especially even the autonomous college authorities, what should they have done?
See, I think the most important thing is that she was being harassed over quite a long period of time, and the internal complaints committee of the college, of the university, which should have been in place and should have looked into this issue with compassion and with objectivity and independence, probably didn't do that. And she was not satisfied. She was being coerced to withdraw her petition against the professor, and then she went to appeal. And you look at these appellate authorities, who are the local MLA, the local member of parliament, and the education minister, the chief minister. She tweeted, and all of them, mind you, belong to her party because she belonged to an ABVP. She was an ABVP, Karyakarta. So what basically is appalling in this particular incident is that all the senior authorities whom she approached basically failed her. And so the system is such that if the college fails to redress the grievance of a potential victim like this, then what is the appellate authorities, what are they doing? What is the kind of response they need to have had in place?
Absolutely.
Now, this is something very shocking.
That's a very important question, Mr. Patnaik. Nikhil Abbas, the BJP is also saying that there's no cover-up. The accused has been arrested. A fact-finding team has been constituted by the centre. At least action is being taken. How do you see this?
You said it is that the people are calling it as an institutional murder. I'd rather say that it is a very, very conscious institutional murder. I know some panelists may call it a suicide, but it is clearly not a suicide, because when a girl constantly, who was humiliated, who was harassed, she constantly pleaded the authorities for justice. She constantly said to the authorities that it is delayed action, that the delayed action is being taken. I might die. Come on, rise up and take an action against the culprit. Despite of that fact, the authorities chose to protect the professor and not help the victim. I want to know, what was the BJP government doing all this time? Were you trying to sleep or trying to just make people believe that you're sleeping and you are not able to understand what exactly has happened in this institution? Why is that the education minister has not resigned yet? Why is that the BJP government, the Modi government is once again mute on it? Why is that we call it, we name it like a new India, but is this the new India where the girl has to burn herself to death to be heard? I want to know that what is Beti Bachao? Where was it?
Okay. Shazia Ilmi, you heard both the BJD and the Congress person out. Well, they're asking questions. How do you respond? Yes.
BJP leaders are constantly.
Okay, let's give a chance to Shazia to respond. Shazia, how do you see these accusations? Because this is a shocking incident, and I know that even you would condemn this. Everybody condemns this, but clearly there's something more that the state government could have done. Do you think that the centre could also have put in more scrutiny to ensure that our girls are safe in educational institutions at least?
Good evening, Vasudha, and good evening to you and to all the panelists and all your viewers. The incident in Odisha is truly heartbreaking, and I think somewhere it's really sent those shock waves, and that a citizen of this country, a young girl, would have to resort to self-immolation of the kind that she did to seek justice is really a big blot on the collective conscience of a society, of a country. As a woman, I feel hurt and outraged, and as somebody from the party, from the BJP, and it is my party which is in power there, I would not like to get into whataboutery, but take full responsibility. So this is not about reckless rhetoric, but full responsibility. It's indeed very sad, and I don't even know what to say. I mean, I really think whether it's the Internal Complaints Committee or the principal, they are equally to be blamed, because this is what the principal is supposed to do. So the HOD, the principal and the Internal Complaints Committee, they did nothing about it. And there were many of these letters that went back and forth, and there were messages out there. Yes, while it's very easy and it's important because the buck does stop at the level of the CM and the Home Minister, Education Minister, and all of that. You please see what was going on with this young girl. I just wish one could have counseled her and not to take her life in this very sad, heartbreaking manner, heart-wrenching manner. But I would like to say that you must also remember this, Vasudha, and it's very sad, and I hate to say this, but she was from ABVP, and there's evidence, suggesting that there were student wing and other opposition parties who were harassing her and victim shaming her. And I think the kind of ecosystem we're talking about for young girls. So are we so vicious and political that a tragedy of a woman would be treated as a political bargaining point? I'm not running away from my responsibility. That's the first thing I said. I'm not even talking about RG Kaur or what TMC is doing and what happened in Rajasthan under BJP, under Congress's rule. None of that. I'm not even going there. All I'm saying is today that while I take full responsibility because it is my party and I wish the system was not so cruel to this young girl who we've lost today, it's quite shameful. Yeah. But Vasudha, the point I want to make is that can grief be treated like a political bargaining chip? Can we not allocate more honesty? And can we also tell our student bodies that just because somebody is from an ideology or a party that does not subscribe to yours, that you also could have provided some source of solace and comfort as fellow students, because her mental state was terrible. Everybody failed her. But her own students, because she was from ABVP,
have some breaking news also. UGC has formed a 4-member fact-finding panel to examine this Odisha case. Mr. Patnaik, you heard Shazia out, and she's saying that while there's no question of whataboutery in this case, rape cannot be used as part of politics. And this thing that has been going around, at least on X, that there were people from several political groups, student groups, that were also involved in character assassination of this particular student. How do you see these allegations? I know that there's only an inquiry that can tell us what really happened, what did the girl go through, and that's very important for us to prevent incidents like this in future. But how do you see such allegations?
No, this kind of allegations, victim shaming and all, this of course can be proved only after detailed investigation. And in fact, that's why I've tweeted that probably not just a normal administrative inquiry would be adequate, and what would probably be required is a judicial probe, so that everybody's role could probably be examined. But more importantly, I think we have to now come to a point that the internal complaint mechanism, which is the fallout of the Visakha judgment of the Supreme Court, isn't probably really working. And that's where we have to really come in to think that maybe the dice is loaded in favor of any such victim, not just in this case, but everywhere else. And therefore, a separate mechanism probably should evolve, in which there is a supervision and supervisory control over the functioning and results of the ICM internal control complaints committees, findings.
Absolutely,
and
that's a very
whatever.
important
In this
point.
case, incidentally, the internal control committee, incidentally, in this case, gave a clean chit to the accused, and therefore she was driven into
Geeta,
this.
but works in, do you, ma'am, as somebody who works in a college administration, do you feel that the ICCs that Mr. Patnaik is also talking about, are they just on paper? Because if we talk about the third party, there's UGC, there's also the education department. How many third party bodies are we going to create? Because there is going to be scrutiny at all levels, and there are powerful people at every level. So clearly there are layers of power that a woman like this particular survivor or victim has to go through. In colleges, are the internal committees just on paper?
Vasudha, you see, Internal Complaints Committee is a mandatory body or mandatory committee that needs to be constituted by every educational institution, which is part and follows the UGC norms, which is the regulatory body of higher education. And it is not so that, the Internal Complaints Committee in educational institutions, they are very, very active, and they take cognizance of any complaint that comes to them, and it is their job that they need to look into it, because they have to submit their report within 90 days to the institution. There is a time frame in which the report has to be submitted, but it is very unfortunate. My heart goes out to this girl's family, near one, and I think as a society, the society failed her, the not getting any kind of a protection, not getting any kind of comfort, that she was driven to take such an extreme step. Right. And in this case, the ICC had given that professor a clean sheet. And that, as it seems, had driven her to take such an extreme step.
Absolutely.
This shows that there was, within the institution, there were forces which were trying to protect her, or otherwise, if had there been the investigation done by the Internal Complaints Committee was not fair, it was not transparent, and that was the reason.
So absolutely. So we need bodies to actually monitor how the ICCs are working. Last closing remarks from Nikhat and Shazia. Nikhat, you go first.
Yeah, Vasudha, I think it is very easy said than done. You always, when you are on a panel and you are facing the viewers of the nation, you obviously say that, we need to show the solidarity and the actions should be taken. But really, the actions are to be taken, but we do not see any actions which are being taken against these culprits. I mean, had it been the case that the action was not delayed by the college authorities and the principal did not delay the action, I think that girl would have been alive. We are sitting here talking about that we should show the solidarity to the family and the victim. How do we do that? Now when the girl is gone, the girl has died. Is it not the institution?
Absolutely, completely out of time. Shazia, quickly your response, ma'am.
Yeah, so whether as a principal, obviously my colleague from the Congress party is not up to speed and doesn't know the facts. But let me tell her, whether as a principal or the accused teacher or the professor in charge of the faculty member has been arrested. But more than that, I think people who are sitting on this committee and all the colleagues who were harassing her should also be part of FIR, because they all are complicit in something so cruel and making a young girl lose her life. So
absolutely. Thank you all of you. I'm completely out of time. Thank you all of you for joining me on this broadcast. This is the story of a girl who wrote, warned, waited, and of course then she died. And this is not just about one girl in Odisha. It's about every girl who's told to stay silent, and for every system that fails her. And just to remind you, UGC has also constituted a 4-member fact-finding committee to look into this tragic suicide of a college student. in Balasore. With that, moving on to the other important story today, TDP, Telugu Desam Party, has urged Election Commission to ensure full transparency in the SIR, in the ongoing SIR process of electoral rolls, demanding safeguards against wrongful deletions and calling for third-party audits. Meanwhile, Chief Minister of Andhra, Chandrababu Naidu, is in Delhi, meeting key union ministers, including Home Minister Amit Shah and Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, pushing for central clearances on major projects. TDP MP and also floor leader of the party in the Lok Sabha, Lavu Krishna Devarailu, joins us now. Thank you, Krishna, for joining us on this show.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, as the BJP's most significant ally with 16 MPs, does the TDP fully support the ongoing SIR process, something that the opposition has strongly condemned for its timing and credibility? You met with the Election Commission officials today. How did that meeting go? What kind of concerns did you raise?
Don't give enough credit to the Election Commission of India, the amazing work they've been doing for the last so many years. Year on year, if you see the way that they're conducting the elections, the transparency they bring to the table, and also the number of people that are actually turning up to vote in the general election or in the assembly elections across the state, it's a phenomenal job that Election Commission of India is doing. The same way with the SIR, which they've taken up. Now we've taken up in one state, and they're going to extend it to all the other states in the country. I think this is a good exercise. This is a need of the hour, because there are a lot of loopholes wherein there are a lot of duplicate voters that are there, so these needs to be arrested. These kind of deficiencies needs to be arrested. Definitely, the SIR, which Election Commission of India is doing, is a welcome move.
Right. Krishna, also the TDP has submitted some very pointed suggestions. Amongst them is also that you're asking for this exercise to be completed at least 6 months before polls. And you're also saying that voters who are part of 2024 elections not be excluded from this process, from electoral rolls, and that the onus of deletion lies with the BLO and not the voter. Can you explain why you believe that these specific changes are essential to making this process fairer and in fact more accountable?
One thing that we all should realize is everyone wants every vote to count. If someone is taking their day off to come there to vote on that election day, he should not go back thinking this vote is not updated on the roads. Saying that, what the Election Commission of India has mentioned clearly given us was, with the SIR report, in the 15 days in the SIR that they're conducting, in 15 days they could able to do it for almost 93% of the voters in Bihar, which is a phenomenal job that they're doing, which no one is talking about. I think media should pick it up, should talk about it. In 15 days, 93% of the eligible voters are already on board. That is some phenomenal work that they're doing. So going forward, as they're going to do it with other states also, we feel that BLOs, BLAs, everyone will should come on board. They should be given proper training, so that this whole activity that Election Commission of India is doing for the betterment of the electoral rolls will be happening in much more transparent way, in much more easy way, rather than someone a common man should not be running from poll to poll just to get an identity or identity card or something else. So keeping all those in view, we have made those suggestions and recommendations. But whatever the reply we got from ECI after the suggestions that were made to them was very satisfactory. They said, yes, we understand where your suggestions are coming from, because they understand what we are listening from the ground. We don't want any kind of negative narrative to be built on such a good exercise that is happening and taken up by the ECI. And we explained it to them. This is what we want to happen. And ECI have taken those suggestions, and they said, sir, with all those suggestions, even with the exercise that we are conducting, we are able to complete 93% in 15 days. Yes, in other states we will take more time, and we'll do it in a much more comfortable way, and give enough time for BLOs, BLAs, and all the officers in the state. So the answers that are given by the ECR are very satisfactory.
Okay. So Krishna, so a lot of support and some suggestions there that that's what TDP has given the ECI officials today. But also Krishna, Andhra Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu is in Delhi for some key meetings. He's going to be here for the next 2 days. What's on agenda specifically when it comes to Banakacherla irrigation project? Because we are expecting some sort of resolution with respect to Telangana as well. What kind of commitments are you expecting from the centre? What's on agenda with CBN's visit this time?
If you look at the Prime Minister's way of working, he has been going about doing all these major infrastructure projects across the country, starting from Kashmir with regards to the new bridge that is coming up, world's tallest bridge, and also coming to Ken and Betwa river linking project that Prime Minister is doing. So these are the major projects that he's taking up on the same tune. Even with regard to Banakacherla also, it's a major project for Andhra Pradesh, wherein extra water that is being gone out to the ocean from the Godavari River will be taken into account and used in a proper way, so that lakhs of acres in Andhra can be irrigated. So this is a project that will benefit, all over Andhra Pradesh. And after the bifurcation, we have seen the troubles that we have gone through, and all the financial troubles. And keeping all this in view, this is a kind of project that will actually create sustainability across Andhra Pradesh in all the communities. So for this, our Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu is pushing for it. He understands the seriousness of this project, and even the Prime Minister and even the Jal Shakti Minister also understands the seriousness of the project, and there will be it will go. I'm confident that it will go in a positive way.
Right. So lots on agenda on CBN's visit this time to New Delhi. Thank you, Krishna, for joining us. And speaking to NDTV, TDP MP Krishnadev Railu there on the SIR process. TDP supporting the process completely, but also suggesting a few inclusive measures. With that, it's time for a short break. More news and updates on the other side.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand.
That's huge. That is a biggie. It's out there.
Gold Plus Clear Glass. Far ho ya near, sab kuch dikhe clear.
Finesta Windows. Beautiful and durable designs. Installation से maintenance की lifelong customer service. आपके घर में Finesta नहीं है? तो कॉल कीजिए.
Fine, finer, Finesta. जनता के पास सवाल ही सवाल है. जवाब ढूंढने को वो देखती है न्यूज़ और देखती है यहाँ तो सवालों का मायाजाल है. ऊपर से ये अलग फाइट है. कोई पूरा लेफ्ट तो कोई पूरा राइट है. बीच में मुद्दे के साथ कौन है, जनता को जवाब चाहिए. इसीलिए सवालों की परेड नहीं, मैं लाऊंगा खबरों की कचहरी. मैं शुभांकर मिश्रा. मेरे साथ देखिए कचहरी रात 8 बजे सिर्फ NDTV इंडिया पर.
But I'd like to start this off by asking you, Vishnu, what you think about the whole question of India not having stealth fighters right now.
It's a huge
Everyone's
problem.
trying to sell them to us as well.
It's a huge problem, Shiv. Let's face it, in as much as we love the Rafale aircraft and the Indian Air Force is completely vouching for it,
perhaps they'd like more than 100 more. The Indian Navy has just gotten into an order for 26 Rafale M aircraft. There is a generation gap between the Rafale and the stealth. There is a good reason why a stealth platform is called a 5th generation aircraft and a Rafale is a 4th or 4.5 generation aircraft, and that is low observability. So in as much as the Rafale has brilliant sensors, both in terms of its radar, its defensive suite, its electronic warfare suite, its towed array decoy system, it is not typically a low observability platform in quite the same manner in which a stealth aircraft is. Its design form is different. And therefore, if Pakistan does have low observable aircraft, which would be the J-35, in fact, the first ones might even start entering service or coming into the PAF ahead of entering service at some time this year, that India is in trouble.
So
Why?
this year? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first could actually start coming in this year. They're really pushing for it. And they've gotten apparently into some agreement with the Chinese to ensure that the funding is done on very loose and terms favorable to Pakistan, as has been in the case in the past. If Pakistan starts acquiring low platforms which are low observable, in other words, stealth platforms, then that's an additional headache for the Indian Air Force, because tracking stealth aircraft requires a certain specialization. It's much more difficult. The time that you have to actually engage a potential stealth target is reduced greatly, and therefore, it's a problem.
कोई जरूरत तो उसको इंटरव्यू देने की।
गायकवाड़ साहब ऐसे मत कीजिए।
लोग देख रहे तो कर रहा है, लोग देख रहे तो कर रहा है।
किसने हक दिया आपको हाथ उठाने का?
अगर फिर से कोई ऐसी गलती करेगा तो मैं छोड़ूंगा नहीं।
सर, आप लाइव हैं एनडीटीवी पर।
मैं सही बात कर रहा हूँ तो
आपकी जो आवाज है,
आप मेरी आवाज ब्रेक मत कीजिए, मेरा पूरा सुन लीजिए।
देखा है, सबने सुना है।
वरना मैं तुम्हारी बात नहीं करूंगा। ये क्या पद्धति है? ये बात करते हैं तो मैं नहीं करूंगा बात इनसे।
गायकवाड़ साहब ऐसे मत कीजिए।
लोग देख रहे तो कर रहा है, लोग देख रहे तो कर रहा है।
He wants to throw punches, he wants to throw slaps, but he can't take normal questions.
Some say sport is a matter of life and death. The truth is, it is far more serious than that. Sport is about ecstasy and agony, about pain and suffering, about joy and much more. Some say there's no one better to tell these stories. So here I am. Join me, Boria Majumdar, on India's #1 news network.
Porsche case, a plea to try juvenile as adult has been rejected. In Bengaluru college campus, a student has been raped by 2 lecturers. India's space hero Shubhanshu Shukla is back on Earth. Kerala nurse Nimisha Priya's execution has been postponed.
Presented by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Where Kerala nurse Nimisha Priya, sentenced to death in Yemen for the 2017 murder of a Yemeni national, has been granted a last-minute relief. Her execution scheduled for the 16th of July was postponed following intense back-channel diplomacy, religious interventions and also renewed appeals to the victim's family. Now, Nimisha Priya claims she administered a drug overdose in an attempt to retrieve her passport after enduring abuse and threats from her business partner. The victim died and she was convicted of murder. With India lacking formal diplomatic presence in Houthi-controlled Yemen, the case relied on informal negotiations, spiritual outreach and also offers of diya, which is also called blood money. The stay offers a sliver of hope. In fact, time is still running out. Nimisha's lawyer, Shubhanshu Chandra, is joining us now. Mr. Chandra, thank you so much for speaking to NDTV. First of all, congratulations for this relief. It is tentative, I know, but how are you looking at this? What kind of legal options remain now? Is there a possibility that the execution could be stayed, could be overturned, could be commuted? What is your take?
Yeah, actually, first of all, the Nimisha Priya International Action would like to convey our gratitude and thanks to the people of Yemen, the administration and the judicial system of Yemen for staying this execution process against Nimisha Priya. So now the judicial order has been passed by the Yemen judicial system, means postponing the execution proceedings against Ms. Nimisha Priya until further orders. So now we have got the breathing time, and we would be proceeding with the negotiations with the victim's family, and we can pursue the victim's family with our offers, and we are ready to tender our unconditional apology to the victim and from the victim's family by paying the blood money. So yes, we are hopeful we can save Nimisha Priya from the gallows by active negotiation process.
Right. Mr. Chandran, what kind of efforts really do you think led to this temporary relief? Because we saw the Grand Mufti of Kerala speaking out. We saw the Indian government also make a lot of efforts. We saw the Chief Minister of Kerala also issuing a statement. Your council will also be working on this to save Nimisha Priya. What really worked?
In fact, in here, we would like to convey our thanks to the government of India too, and the many other agencies, many other means very prominent persons who helped us in this negotiation, the parallel negotiation process. Especially, we would like to name the person, Mr. Kandapuram Abubakar Musliar, who is a Muslim prominent cleric from Kerala, who has helped us a lot in this negotiation process. In fact, yesterday, the government of India, the Union of India, through Attorney General, submitted before this Honorable Supreme Court that there are some limitation for the government, the Union of India, in this matter. So we have explored our own channel. We started our negotiation with the victim's family directly, through with the help of this Marcus in Kerala and Mr. Kandapuram Abubakar Musliar, and we could establish a hotline through the counterparts in Yemen. And fortunately, yesterday the victim's brother came to the negotiation table the first time, and the negotiation went in the late night also yesterday, and today morning also the negotiations took place. And thereafter, the administration decided to pass an interim order staying this Nimisha's execution proceedings. So now we will have to convince the entire family. According to Sharia law, only single person cannot take a decision on the plea of this blood money. So the entire family has to come together and accepting our offer. So now we will have to talk to the family members of the victim, and we are hopeful we can convince them and we can save Nimisha Priya from this death row.
Mr. Chandran, so it's good news that for the first time the victim's brother is part of negotiations now. Can you tell us a little bit about what is the victim's family thinking? Is there anything that the brother has conveyed which has also led to us, raising our expectations?
Want to disclose, I would not like to disclose the entire details about the discussions, because it may affect the future discussions with the family. But yes, I can tell to an extent that there were some pressures from the groups, like the tribal groups in there, and the tribal groups belongs to the victim's family. They were reluctant to go ahead with the negotiation process. That's why the family didn't come to the negotiation table yet. Now we could, as I said, we could establish a hotline to some senior most political leaders and religious leaders in Yemen, and they forced, or they could convince the victim's family to, and that's why now the victim's family is ready for the blood money negotiations.
Right. Mr. Chandran, how is the family of Nimisha Priya looking at this? I'm sure you're in touch with them. And also, is there any specific message that Nimisha Priya has conveyed?
Yes, we we means the Nimisha Priya International Action Council and Nimisha's family is in touch with Miss Nimisha Priya in a limited manner. We are getting, she's getting some time the mobile phone access in the jail. So that time she is sending messages, and we are also replying to her messages. We are also updating about our initiatives. So fortunately, today we could partially win our game or our efforts. So now she would be she and her mother, Miss Prema Kumari, would be the most happiest person in this world today. So anyhow, with the support of media, Indian media, with the support of the Indian government, and with the support of many other prominent and means the persons from Kerala and other parts of world, we are ahead. We are going ahead with the blood money negotiation, and we can hope the best.
Right. Mr. Chandran, just to clarify for our viewers, is blood money the only negotiating tool at the table now?
Nimisha Priya is sentenced to death by a Yemeni trial court in 2020, and that order was challenged in a Yemeni first appellate court in 2022. And in 2020 we filed the appeal, and 2022 the Yemeni first appellate court dismissed the appeal. And thereafter, we approached the Yemeni Supreme Court with an appeal, and which was also dismissed in 2023. So now all the legal remedies are exhausted. And now only the way means to save her life is the blood money negotiations only. And according to Sharia law, that is the option of the victim's family. They can accept the blood money and pardon the accused, or they can deny also. That's their option. So we will be again, I'm repeating saying that we will be pursuing them, we will be trying to convince them, and we will be seeking the pardon from them by tendering our unconditional apology as well as offering the blood money.
Right. Mr. Chandran, my last question to you. When is the next hearing expected? Is there going to be any hearing, or is the decision of the family going to be conveyed to you? And what is your appeal to the government and also to other influencers, in India? What is your appeal to all of them?
Yeah, in fact, we would like to urge the Indian government again to do the needful, whatever the diplomat, whatever ways through the diplomatic or non-diplomatic channel. And we expect the Indian government will do their best. And yes, obviously, Grand Mufti and other prominent leaders, religious as well as political leaders from Kerala, they are also means we are getting support from them. So we will be in touch with the family. We will be through this hotline. We will be having the discussion with the family, and hopefully. I think, and there is one more thing. There is no more hearing in this matter. This administration has stayed this order till further orders. So this is not there is no further hearing in this matter, as all the legal remedies are exhausted. So we will be getting some more time, and the next date will be deciding in accordance with the discussions, the blood money negotiations in there. So hopefully we are expecting there may not be a next date of hearing in this matter, as we can save her from the gallows.
Right. Subhash Chandran there, Nimisha Priya's lawyer, speaking to NDTV. Nimisha Priya may have escaped execution for now, but her life still hangs in balance. And clearly, where diplomacy has been limited, there are humanitarian efforts as outreach that's happening, back-channel negotiations that are also helping Nimisha Priya in this case to escape the gallows. Talking about safety of women, Indian women abroad in a shocking incident in Sharjah. A 20-year-old Indian woman allegedly killed her infant before taking her own life last week. That's what newspapers have also reported. This incident occurred on the afternoon of Tuesday at the family's apartment. According to initial findings, the woman was responsible for the death of her 1-year-old child. There are also clear marks on the woman's neck indicating suicide. The report, in fact, also said, quoting doctors who have examined the scene. Now, this woman's body was transferred to the hospital and then moved to forensic lab for autopsy. Moving on to the political focus today, Tamil Nadu heads to a high-stakes 2026 assembly election in the midst of public anger and also excitement, political resets and a push for performance. Now, the custodial death of Ajit Kumar, a security guard at a temple who was tortured to death with 44 injuries, has triggered a CBI probe and also mass outrage. also raising serious questions about police excesses in Tamil Nadu and the absence of a law against custodial torture. Now, in parallel, the DMK government has also launched an ambitious grievance redressal drive today with IAS officers as spokespersons and a promise to resolve complaints of common men and women in just 45 days. Meanwhile, the AIDMK-BJP alliance is back on track, sharpening the contest, while the TVK, Vijay-led TVK, is spotlighting governance, justice and credibility. The big question, can any political party claim public trust without first ensuring justice in its own backyard? And also, is this 2026 assembly election in Tamil Nadu going to be that election that changes not just the political future of Tamil Nadu, but also the players in the state? That's what we discuss now. Apsara Reddy, national spokesperson of the AIDMK, joins us. We also have Ranjana Nachiyar, TVK leader. We have Dr. Sumant Raman, political analyst and commentator. We also have Pulla Rao, who's also a political analyst and an author. Thank you all of you for joining me on this broadcast. Apsara Reddy, to you first. Help us understand how is the AIDMK looking at the issue of custodial deaths. I read what you wrote also. It was a very important piece. But ma'am, I mean, it looks to me like custodial deaths is a problem, it's a systemic problem that Tamil Nadu has been suffering from for several years. What do you think is going to be the solution?
I think custodial deaths have quadrupled in the DMK government since 2021, since they've taken over. There have been 24 custodial deaths. Every time Mr. Stalin comes out and gives statements, tweets about it, there's no structural change that takes place. It's only optics. It's a photo shoot government that he's running. I really feel when you have something like custodial deaths which are multiplying in the state, there has to be some kind of resolve from the chief minister who holds the home department. Just suspending junior level constabulary, junior level officers and passing the buck is not the way forward. I think it took the chief minister 3 days to wake up. Why were the senior officers not questioned? Why wasn't it handed over to the CBI? Why did it take the Madras High Court to wrap the government so harshly that they had to wake up from their slumber and then issue a statement? I really feel with elections coming up, this whole redressal cell that Mr. Stalin has started is actually absolutely just humbug, and it's just an optical PR stunt, because Stalin has known, even during 2021 elections in his manifesto, when he was releasing his manifesto, he promised a locked box where people could put their complaints in, and within 100 days he'll resolve it for them. His son was actually, made the head of the special programs, which would deliver all these, attend to these, grievances of the public and, address them. None of it was done. So Stalin remains a inefficient chief minister. I don't think under him we can expect much in terms of human rights or preventing custodial deaths. The time has come for change. People are looking forward to that change under BJP and AIDMK-led governance alliance. 100% sure that Mr. Stalin, based on his track record, whether it's custodial deaths, whether it's illicit liquor deaths, whether it's NEET deaths, he's always issued apologies, and it's an apology of a government, but he really doesn't do anything structurally to, to deal with that cause.
Is custodial deaths an issue that resonates with the entire state? Mr. Sumant Raman?
Yeah. Look, Vasudha, I think the problem is custodial deaths in the last 3 to 4 years. The DMK is in some ways responsible, because when the AIDMK was in power, they were the ones who went to town with the Jairaj and Benix case in Satangulam, which was a absolutely gory murder carried out in custody. And that was but so at that time the DMK virtually, ran a campaign supported by actors, supported by social activists, supported by a whole lot of the entire media, and rightly so. So that was the reason when the attention first came on to custodial deaths in a big way in Tamil Nadu. Of course, it's happened in the past also, but the attention in the recent times came because of Jairaj and Benix. Subsequently, 24 deaths have happened in the DMK rule. Almost none of it was really highlighted in a big way. There was one case of a youth called Vignesh who died soon in custody, and that was highlighted. But after that, again, it became sort of business as usual. Ajit Kumar's case became a big one because of multiple reasons, and also the fact that the video came out. The video that you're showing on the screen That was one of the main reasons why the police were not able to get away with the usual explanations. So the questions being raised about custodial deaths are very valid. Just don't look at only the custodial deaths. Look at 3,000 cases where people are believed to have fallen and fractured their hands. I think it is about 800. I'll give you the exact number. In just a 1 year period in the toilets of police stations across Tamil Nadu. But surprisingly, none of the policemen have actually slipped and fallen in the same toilets. So people are being beaten day after day after day, and nothing is happening. The courts are looking on. Courts are also not doing anything.
Right.
The public very often actually cheer some of these cases when they see an accused being brought in with a cast, his hand or leg in a cast. Sadly for us, the public actually don't even understand it is a violation of human rights.
Absolutely.
And quietly support the government.
Because that's also a culture of impunity that gets promoted by these excesses. Ranjana, how did Vijay decide that this is one issue that he wants to take up? Because whether Tamil Nadu has been under DMK or AIDMK, police excesses have been a constant, indicating that there is a systemic crisis, and Apsara also talked about it. But for Vijay to pick up one issue for his debut political protest, why did he decide on the issue of custodial deaths? Is it because both parties, he thinks, have failed to sort of resolve this issue?
Because this is the very sensitive issue. Ajit Kumar's custodial death is a very sensitive issue right now, and DMK's governance is failing to do the proper governance. That is the example. This Ajit Kumar's death is one main example for DMK's inability. So, and this doesn't happen with the big industrialists or any celebrities and all that. They don't have, the police doesn't show their guts and all these kind of terrorist activities and all with the other people. They show it only on the poor people, on daily wages laborers, because they doesn't have money to fight back, or they're voiceless, right? They're voiceless people. They only do this with the voiceless people. Okay. And that is very poor. For voiceless people, our leader, TVK, is leader Vijay would like to voice up only for the voiceless people. That is his main agenda.
Very important. Pulla Rao, clearly voice for the voiceless people is very important here. But like Ranjana was also talking about that, who is responsible for these police excesses? Does this show that the Stalin government is too much in control of the administration, or does it show lack of control? Because I was just looking at some numbers. So activists and opposition people have been saying that there have been 24 custodial deaths. But if you look at the replies in Lok Sabha, custodial deaths of Tamil Nadu are about 13. So clearly there's some sense of, but then we know Vignesh's case, we know Mr. Raja's case, the Dalit cook who was also tortured. Ajit Kumar's case has resonated with the entire country. So clearly, anecdotally, we know that there have been cases. What should Tamil Nadu do to report custodial torture better? Is it also important to have laws like Kerala has? Kerala has the Police Act 2011, which mandates that any police officer who witnesses torture should report it without fear. Does Tamil Nadu need laws like that?
Let me tell you, there's no doubt.
Definitely, Tamil Nadu
needs.
Mr. Pulla Rao, yeah.
Rules to follow.
This is condemnable. there are no two views on this. And no need to take any lower ground or high ground. We're all on the same ground. It's condemned. But Tamil Nadu has 1,25,000 policemen. Yes, I agree. The supervision is not good enough. The supervision can be better. The training can be better. Better people can be taken in. All of this is there. The Bureau of Police Research, Government of India frequently brings out reports which nobody reads. And of course, Government of India doesn't fund them to be implemented. We require police modernization all over the country. One such incident cannot be tolerated. Yes, they happen. What a very, very famous incidents happen in a country like USA also. Policemen killing people openly. It's happened here. We should look at it. One more thing I'd like to say, a little bit, unorthodox maybe. This is not a law and order issue. This is crime. Crime committed by a policeman, which is even worse than an ordinary person. We require updating of police all over the country. I agree that law and order is a state subject, but the central government should take some initiative. Bring uniform laws, as you just mentioned, the Kerala law. Perhaps it can be extended nationwide. And these things, we have to modernize the police. Maybe you have, more CCTVs, maybe more vigilance, maybe better quality people also can be taken in. Absolutely. What is the recruitment process? That also perhaps there is something bad going on. And these are happening all over the country, but I'm not talking about whataboutery.
So quality of policing, Dr. Rao, is what you think is important. Apsara Reddy, if the AIDMK comes to power next year, would you promise that there would be no custodial deaths, and what do you think is a remedy for that? What kind of laws, what kind of moves will you put in place to ensure that these incidents don't occur?
So as the official spokesperson of AIDMK had written about this for the op-ed in The Hindu, I really think police reforms are very essential. Police are dealing with rape cases in the morning, theft in the afternoon, murders in the evening. There's a lot of mental lethargy. And also I feel the police department, the khaki has to be a little more compassionate. And for that, there need to be mental health, compulsory mandatory mental health camps, mental health, time provided for them to kind of upgrade their skills, also in terms of empathy, in terms of dealing with people who they're investigating. I think investigative techniques also have to be modernized. It can't be just arm twisting tactics. All this has to come up, not just as a law, but also the government has to act with empathy and put these in place. Because a lot of times when you talk to police officers, they talk about burnout, they talk about being understaffed, they talk about how, when there's a lot of political pressure, when they have to investigate cases, they have to close a case within a certain time without proper investigation. So all of this, we have to have proper systems in place.
Right. Sumant Raman, politically speaking, this is a poll-bound state. Elections are expected next year. How do you see DMK addressing this issue? Because Stalin has apologized. He has spoken to the family. Of course, he should have announced compensation for all the 23 families, which should have been done earlier, something that Vijay highlighted. How do you see DMK addressing these allegations of custodial deaths?
Can I just come in once before Mr. Sumant Raman?
Yes,
I have just a small point before Mr. Sumant Raman takes over. I think the Stalin model of government has always been knee-jerk reactions after an incident has occurred. And there's always been a knee-jerk reaction lacking humanity. Even when there was a girl, her footballer called Priya, who died because of medical negligence, the same Stalin who stood on the streets and asked the Edapadi government to provide 1 crore in compensation for the COVID deaths, which were like almost in thousands. Stalin didn't even announce any solatium for the girl who was, murdered in a government hospital by his own...
How do you look at the DMK's response to these allegations of custodial deaths?
No, see, the DMK has two huge advantages. One, they have complete control over the media. And they have a very, very inept opposition, which is simply incapable of exerting the kind of pressure that the DMK used to exert when they were in the opposition. So those are the two. It's a lot like how the Congress is the biggest asset for the BJP. And why does the BJP keep doing well in election? It's because of the weakened opposition. Right. One correction I wanted to make was that's not 3,000 people who fell in the quote-unquote fell in the bathrooms. It's 300. So 300 people fell, quote-unquote, fell in the bathroom of police stations in Tamil Nadu during a 11-month period.
So clearly a lot more assurances need to be given. Completely out of time. Thank you, all of you, for joining me on this broadcast. That government cannot ask for votes in one hand while turning a blind eye to police excesses. Tamil Nadu's voters are watching. The state is all set to vote next year. With that, it's a wrap on the show. My colleague Vishnu Shom joins you on the other side.
The big viewership Super Smash
is actually deployed in the seats on NDTV.
India's #1 English channel. NDTV 24/7 is all India #1.
किसने हक दिया आपको हाथ उठाने का?
No fakery, fixing, pure viewership. Trust.
Such a professional channel, NDTV.
Credibility.
If you win Lords, you have a chance to win the series.
No compromise.
सर आप लाइव हैं NDTV पर. कोई जरूरत नहीं उसको इंटरव्यू देने की.
NDTV 24/7, the undisputed #1.
Pune accident case, plea to try juvenile as adult has been rejected. A college student in Bengaluru has been raped by 2 lecturers. India's space hero Shubhanshu Shukla is back on Earth. Kerala nurse Nimisha Priya's execution has now been postponed.
Presented by Canara Bank. Together we can.
तू ही तो है जिसकी सच्चाई वाली क्लैरिटी की वजह से मैं आज यहाँ हूँ।
गोल्ड प्लस सिल्वॉक्सी मिरर्स, ऐसी क्लैरिटी कि आपको सिर्फ सच नजर आए, चाहे कितने भी साल बीत जाएं।
फिनेस्टा विंडोज, ब्यूटीफुल एंड ड्यूरेबल डिजाइन्स, इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस। आपके घर में फिनेस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए।
Fine, finer, Finesta.
But I'd like to start this off by asking you, Vishnu, what you think about the whole question of India not having stealth fighters right now.
It's a huge
Everyone's
problem.
trying to sell them to us as well.
It's a huge problem, Shiv. Let's face it, in as much as we love the Rafale aircraft and the Indian Air Force is completely vouching for it, perhaps they'd like more than 100 more. The Indian Navy has just gotten into an order for 26 Rafale M aircraft. There is a generation gap between the Rafale and the stealth. There is a good reason why a stealth platform is called a 5th generation aircraft and a Rafale is a 4th or 4.5 generation aircraft, and that is low observability. So in as much as the Rafale has brilliant sensors, both in terms of its radar, its defensive suite, its electronic warfare suite, its towed array decoy system, it is not typically a low observability platform in quite the same manner in which a stealth aircraft is. Its design form is different. And therefore, if Pakistan does have low observable aircraft, which would be the J-35, in fact, the first ones might even start entering service or coming into the PAF ahead of entering service at some time this year, then India is in trouble.
So
Why?
this year? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first could actually start coming in this year. They're really pushing for it. And they've gotten apparently into some agreement with the Chinese to ensure that the funding is done on very loose and terms favorable to Pakistan, as has been in the case in the past. If Pakistan starts acquiring low platforms which are low observable, in other words, stealth platforms, then that's an additional headache for the Indian Air Force, because tracking stealth aircraft requires a certain specialization. It's much more difficult. The time that you have to actually engage a potential stealth target is reduced greatly, and therefore, it's a problem.
The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I
hold
CDSL for the long term? Buy, sell or hold.
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
कोई जरूरत तो उसको इंटरव्यू देने की। गायकवाड़ साहब ऐसे मत कीजिए। लोग देख रहे हैं तो कर रहा है, लोग देख रहे हैं तो कर रहा है। किसने हक दिया आपको हाथ उठाने का? अगर फिर से कोई ऐसी गलती करेगा तो मैं छोड़ूंगा नहीं। सर आप लाइव हैं एनडीटीवी पर। मैं सही बात कर रहा हूं तो आपकी जो आवाज है, आप मेरी आवाज ब्रेक मत कीजिए, मेरा पूरा सुनिए। देखा है, सबने सुना है। वरना मैं तुम्हारी बात नहीं करूंगा। ये क्या पद्धति है? ये बात करते हैं तो मैं नहीं करूंगा बात इनसे। गायकवाड़ साहब ऐसे मत कीजिए। लोग देख रहे हैं तो कर रहा है, लोग देख रहे हैं तो कर रहा है। He wants to throw punches, he wants to throw slaps, but he can't take normal questions.
Well, in the latest episode of Control All Defense, we are talking about a platform that all of you want to hear about. Good evening, you're watching India Matters. I'm Vishnu Shom. On the program today, in just the next couple of minutes, we'll bring you the first interview with the Indian Space Research Organization chief. This after Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, India's astronaut, splashed down off the coast of San Diego in the Pacific Ocean a couple of hours back. A successful return for Shuks on a mission from the International Space Station. It's been quite a mission, and there are a couple of important points that the ISRO chief mentioned. Remember, there was an element of tension and concern prior to the successful liftoff of this particular mission when cracks with cryogenic leaks were detected on the launch pad. ISRO would have none of it. The mission was delayed until those cracks were in fact fixed, as a result of which the mission went off safely. So that interview coming up in just the next couple of moments. What does it mean for India's space program? Remember, we're also looking at India's crewed mission, the Gaganyaan mission. That is coming up in a couple of years from now. The ISRO chief also tells me about where that stands. But the images that you see on your screen over here are of Group Captain Shukla moments after getting out of the Crew Dragon spacecraft, which splashed down in the Pacific. It was put on a mothership, and then Shukla emerged from there along with the others. Remember, you need to find your Earth legs. It takes a little bit of time to get used to the gravity back on Earth, but a huge smile on his face, and all's well that ends well. But later on the program, we'll be moving to something completely different. There's been an important verdict which has come in for the Pune hit-and-run case. Remember that 17-year-old who ran over two IT executives in a car when he was completely drunk, and there was a systemic effort at a cover-up. On the entire issue of whether that 17-year-old should be tried as an adult, there's been an important court verdict. We'll tell you about that. But first, this interview with the ISRO chief on the successful return of India's Shubhanshu Shukla. But let's go across. Sir, thanks very much for being with us. You know, your first thoughts on Shubhanshu Shukla returning from this incredible mission?
Say, we in Department of Space is extremely happy for the grand successful mission. We are very, very happy due to a couple of reasons. Because you all know, we are all working hard for making the Gaganyaan program as a successful mission. And this Gaganyaan program was approved by Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji in 2018, August 15. And this development involves a lot of things. We have to make a human-rated launch vehicle. We have to develop the orbital module. We have to develop a crew escape system. We have to develop environmental control systems. We have to develop parachutes, and the entire mission management we have to develop. Recovery studies we have to do. Then very important thing in this Gaganyaan mission is interfacing of human being with hardware and software.
Yeah.
Now, you know, we have only one experience. 1984, Rakesh Sharma ji went to space and came back. Yes. We are effectively utilizing him, consulting him for a lot of things. Now, it is the Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji, his vision, 2023, he strongly felt the need of sending one of the Gaganyaan 3 out of 4 to International Space Station. And then it is his vision, and we signed a MOU and we are executing from